there, welcome to Empathetic Educators. I'm your host, Naomi Toland, and today it looks a little bit different because I'm going to just talk about kind of my background and why I've got so interested in neuroscience, and just those people who haven't maybe come to the channel yet. Yeah, a little bit about me and my passions. And at the end, I'm just going to talk about something that I'm really passionate about at the minute and that I want to share with you guys. So hopefully you can have an impact on that as well. So yeah. So like I said, my name is Naomi Toland, and I was born in Derry City in the beautiful Ireland. But I'm currently living in Auckland in New Zealand and having the best time ever. Yeah, so an educator, and one of my really big passions is education. And as a primary school teacher, I'm really passionate about learners finding their passions and their strengths. And I think over the past couple of years, I've really delved deep into neuroscience and education. And today, like I said, I'm just going to give a background towards my personal experience with it and where this passion's come from. So, during my first year of teaching, like many people who I've spoken to, my whole world completely felt like it went upside down. And even though I had people who I could talk to, who I knew I could talk to, I moved away for the first time to a place where I didn't really know people. And so I didn't have that safety, I didn't have that connection with people. And even though I'd moved away before, I thought to myself, I'm a very independent person. I like to do things, I do my things my way. And I didn't really think anything of it. But in my first year of teaching, moving away to a place that I didn't really know people, I probably should have expected it to be a bit of a lonely start and be prepared for that, but I definitely wasn't. And so I knew I had people I could talk to on the phone, but actually having people face to face is really important as well. Or just having people around me as well. So that was like really, really a big change for me. And on the outside, I was trying to look like I was strong. I was trying to say, "Yep, I've got this," but in my head, I was doubting myself. I had such a big change in the way that I was processing, and I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't get, why am I feeling so not in control and not able to cope. And so yeah, I started getting migraines in my head that I'd never experienced before. So my body was reacting to the stress and the anxiety that I was going through. And it was a very different place. Yeah, the world looked like a really different place than what I'd ever experienced. Like the way I was seeing the world wasn't the way I was used to. And I was going through a constant battle of, I'm teaching in an inner city London school where these kids are constantly having to deal with so much more than what I ever could imagine. So why am I, a person who has a great education, who has a great strong background that might not be there, but I do have people who I can turn to, why am I feeling like this? And so yeah, I started to try to understand. This is where the passion came in. This is where the I needed some sort of way to understand, why am I going through this and what's happening in my head, because if I didn't, then I didn't know what would have happened. But I thought it's either understand strategies or I'm gonna have to leave my job, which I love, because I can't do this anymore. And so place I was going to, like I went to the doctors and the doctor said just try and breathe more, which I do understand is something that you have to do. And I probably wasn't breathing, but that was like a short-term fix to a long-term problem that I was experiencing. So that's where research, and the fact that knowledge is power, and that fact completely changed my life because I needed to understand why I was going through that and why my body was reacting to my experience. So yeah, I started looking into the brain. I started looking into, if you go through these things, what what are the connections, what are the physical results that happen whenever you go through difficult times and challenging times. And I think I should say now at the minute that this is my experience and my research and something that's helped me. And I'm just sharing it because I hope that it's going to help other people who may be in their first year teaching, who are maybe feeling the same way, moved to a different country, might be feeling the same way, away from their friends, away from their family, might feel the same way. And the biggest thing for me through talking about this is realizing that other people feel the same as well. Like I was just thinking, how can I feel all these thoughts? Why am I having all these thoughts whenever? And I felt really alone. And I want to share that so that people don't feel that way. So a big thing for me that from the research is belonging and connection. So having that sense of belonging, having that connection piece is what we need to survive. Empathy. So I've really been passionate about empathy, empathetic educators, because if we can see people and see what they're going through, maybe we can see that they're struggling or maybe just notice that they're changing in a little bit. So tapping into them. I was really lucky that I had friends who visited and they could see probably more than I could see that I was going through those times. And so yeah, like that empathy piece where you can really people are there for you and people can see you even though you can't see it yourself. So yeah. And dealing with change. So like dealing with the fact that things do change. Things are different. And I think for me, I got my teaching job. I'd gone through all my education, got it, and I expected it to kind of be, yep, I'm a teacher, it's done, tick that box, don't have to work on focusing anymore. But that was my biggest downfall because it was constantly going to change, constantly going to change, constantly going to change after that. So yeah, I think that resilience is a really big piece. So I was really lucky that I didn't really have much adversity, so I didn't have those strategies in place to deal with the change I was going through. And so I was looking for places then to understand what is change, how can I cope with it? And that's when I literally mentioned this book probably in every session that I've recorded so far, and I've mentioned this to so many people because it is one of my favorite things. But Richard Gerver, Change, and I think I might be back to front in a minute, but yeah, it says change, learn to love it, learn to lead it, and honestly, you can see how many pages are turned down, and there's notes, there's asterisks, there's little things in the back because I'm just obsessed. I think I'm on my fifth time reading it because it just gave me tips and strategies to actually cope with it, but also cope with sharing that with other people as well. So yeah, that was my first port of call and first helping the place that I found, yep, this is giving me an insight into actually what I'm going through. And another part of it was whenever I moved away from my family, I moved straight to university. And like I said, I had this amazing network of girls, Manor House girls. But yeah, whenever I moved to London, I moved into a place where I didn't have a group of friends. I didn't know the people who I was living with. And that was a really big struggle for me. So that belonging and connection, that made sense that I didn't really have that. I had my partner and his family who lived close to London. Thank goodness, because if I didn't, I think I actually would have just broke, as in like, and but yeah, that really made sense to me. And at that time, then another friend had told me about this book called the Chimp Paradox. Again, I think it might be back to front, but that's all about understanding your brain, and this really helped me see that I wasn't actually, there was a reason why I was feeling this way. So I gave a logical explanation to emotional things that were going on because I could understand actually my brain and why it was reacting. So Professor Steve Peters, and it's called the mind management. So yeah, if you are feeling or you can relate to actually what I'm talking about, then this again you can see that it's got a curve, like a curved up, because I've been reading it and it's been really, really helpful for me. And it kind of talks about different levels of our brain. So, for example, whenever I was having my migraines, whenever I was feeling tense down here, it made sense because that's our survival brain. So my brain was in complete anxious mode, anxiety mode. And so that made me understand, okay, so I do obviously need to breathe more. That's a strategy. But the reason why I'm feeling like this and why I'm feeling so tense is because I am not feeling safe at the minute. And gave explanations towards why I'm feeling that way. So yeah, that kind of is the background toward where my passion came from, and it brings us to 3 or 4 years later. Yeah, 4 years later to where I am right now, and why I am so passionate about sharing this with other people, because I really think that if we can help other people understand their brains, and I'm continuing every day to understand more and more about what strategies I can use to help myself. But if we can help other people, if I can help other people, and empathetic educators can share at least with one person who might be feeling that they're going through it, then that's what I'm passionate about doing. And so, yeah, I set myself a couple of challenges this year, and one of them was to start this YouTube channel. And it was to share my journey, but more importantly, help other people see that their story and their journey is so important in inspiring other people. And I really wanted it to be a place where we can learn together. So doctors, psychologists, neuroscientists, bringing all that knowledge where I was looking, please help, trying to have a bank where that's there. So if you are looking for understanding of dealing with change, if you are looking to understand more about belonging and connection, then that's where we can come together and understand that. So yeah, another challenge for me was to look after my physical health as well as understanding my brain and looking after my mental health. And obviously those things are connected. So nutrition was a really big part of that. And that's what's coming out of research. And I realized I am not looking after my health at all. So that's whenever I decided to look into how can I actually, instead of just losing weight and getting bikini ready every single year, actually how can I change my lifestyle to make it really healthy? And that's whenever Wimp2Warrior, which is a program that gets everyday people into mixed martial arts. So it sets you up on a program where you have 20 weeks to get fit, fight ready, and you have a fight at the end. Yeah, I thought it was crazy as well. So I'm currently 4 weeks out, and I feel pretty ready for my fight. I still got a lot of things I want to work on, but it can be done. So that's where, yeah, steady kickboxing with Eugene has been unbelievable. And I feel like I've got a really great family around me with that. So that sense of belonging as well, helping each other and help each other get through whatever you're going through in a physical way, in a physical fitness way is really, really great too. So, yeah. And my third challenge was looking at ways I can help other people go through, who are going through, or maybe are finding things difficult. And that's where I found Youthline, which is a company that helps other people to, and mostly youth, go through what they're going through. And they can ring up and talk about their struggles, talk about what they're experiencing. And I want to get this part right because it's really important for me. Um, they show that currently, 1 in 5 text messages to Youthline relate to suicide, and 2 in 5 of all text messages received through the helpline services relate specifically to suicide, self-harm, anxiety, or depression. And it just says like numbers like this highlight the importance of the services. So I've been working on being part of their team and being a helpline volunteer. And that's where I feel like this video, it all comes together because I want to be able to fundraise for this company. And that's why it's so close to my heart because, like I said, belonging, feeling heard, feeling understood, feeling like someone sees you, feeling like someone is there for you is so important. And me as an adult, well, 21-year-old person coming and teaching, I was struggling with understanding what I was going through. And if we can help younger people develop strategies, empower themselves, which is what Youthline's all about, giving them an action plan to help them actually cope with what they're going through and give them resilience. If Youthline can be there to help, then that's what we need. So I've set up a page for fundraising to support Youthline. And I want to use my Wimp2Warrior experience, so my fight night, as a place to fundraise for that. So I set up a page that you can find the link below, or I'm going to put the link in here, and you can click on it. And hopefully you can go donate in as much as you can, as little as you can, and contribute to actually the growth of this, because mental health is so important, but helping people with strategies to just be mentally healthy, that's what I feel, and that's what I'm passionate about. So instead of it being that, oh, we have to help someone who is suicidal, who is thinking these thoughts, how can we give them strategies to prevent them from getting to that place in the first place? And that's what I think is education so important, is giving people strategies, giving people tools, helping people feel empowered whenever they are going through a tough time, to know what they can do. And yeah, that's what I hope to achieve from this. So if we can raise money for Youthline, and they are putting projects together to help those youth, that the youth feel like they have somewhere to go and they have somewhere to feel like they matter. And so yeah, if you can donate, if you have anything at all, and even if you don't have the money, then you can go onto the website, which I'll put below, and you can actually volunteer your time and become a volunteer as well. And if you're not based in Auckland, then have a look around and see where is there places that you can contribute your time or contribute your donate money to, because that's what we need to be doing for people in general. But as a teacher and as an educator, I'm really passionate for younger people, because I feel prevention is what we need to do. Preventing people to get to what the low by putting strategies in place. That's what we need to be helping. So yeah. I think it got a little bit dark when I'm recording this, but I hope that by me sharing my journey and where I've come from, why I'm feeling this passionate about it, I hope that resonates with some people, but also helps you understand why I've put Empathetic Educators together. And if you do feel like you can contribute, then that would be great. And also you can comment below, or you can contact me on Twitter at Naomi_Toland, or I'm going to put my Instagram details in there as well, because I am having a fight soon in 4 weeks, like I said, and I would love if you could share that journey. And I'll be putting daily posts up there, and on here I'll be also sharing my Wimp2Warrior journey by creating a little session about where I've come from and what the journey's been like for Wimp2Warrior as well. So yeah, thank you for letting me share this. And if you do feel anything from it, like I said, it's my journey and it's my experience and things that have helped me along the way. It might not be for everyone, but if we can share stories and if we can help other people, then that's what I'm hoping to get from this. So yeah, look forward to hearing from you, and remember, your choices have an impact. So if you can look after and empower yourself, as well as noticing when you can support and empower other people, that's what I'm hoping to get. Thank you. Bye.